All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a huge favor, drop me a one in the chat, and we can get this morning session started. I appreciate everybody letting me know that they can see my screen. They do these Zoom updates from time to time, and so it kind of throws me for a loop when they do it. So appreciate it. All right, I see the ones coming in. Hey, so let's make sure that we start every morning with a strong foundation where we are taking massive action, meaning we're accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. We want to make sure that we always center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, showing a balanced approach to trading, and that we continue to trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. We want to imagine our trades successfully materializing and that we are always obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. And we want to make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trade has commenced. All right. So, that being said, hope everybody is having an awesome week so far. It is cold up here in Michigan. Boy, has that temperature dropped, right? So, a little bit of back and forth with the weather here in Michigan, but hey, we got away with the warm weather long enough, I guess. So we'll see what happens as we move towards the end of the week on that note. So let's move over, take a look at the calendar, right? So yesterday, we saw the core CPI for the United States, right? Investors had their eyes on that as they try to, further solidify if we're going to get a rate cut in December. Well, it's looking like we're probably going to get one, right? So the CPI data came through at forecast, right? 0.3%. So all good there. Year over year came in right on forecast. Bank of Canada, right? Yesterday cut their rates by 50 basis points. So just a few notes on that I took. I also posted it in the group, right? So Bank of Canada cuts rates again as growth slows, inflation stays on target. So they lowered the rate by 50 basis points to 3.25%. Um, aims so the goal is to boost economic growth while keeping inflation at 2%. Right. So that's always the defined balance that these central banks try to keep. As far as the economic overview, Canada's Q3 GDP grew by just 1%, which was below expectations. Q4 growth is also projected to be weak, right? And so we know GDP is a major fundamental statistic that we track. The job market is softening. Unemployment rose to 6.8%. Young people and newcomers facing significant challenges over in Canada. The consumer trends, lower rates are driving increases in housing activity and consumer spending, but business investment and exports remain weak. Okay. Federal policies like a temporary GST break and changes to mortgage rules are expected to influence inflation and spending, right? So that can move inflation to the downside. GST, that's a goods and services tax, right? So if you have an increase in your goods and services tax, which is prices that consumers are kind of they pay on goods and services, and then that money is moved right over to is sent to the government there, right? So if you get a break in that, right, that means things can become less expensive, right? So inflation can go down. Okay, so um inflation update, inflation stabilizing at 2%, but temporary factors like the GST break could push it to 1.5% in January, rebounding. Risk, high wage growth with weak productivity could push inflation up, right? So you have to watch out for that. While slower economic growth might pull it down, right? So looking at the different risk factors there on both sides. Uncertainties ahead, of course, potential U.S. tariffs on Canadian exports are looming risk with uncertain outcomes. So what does this mean, right? For borrowers, lower interest rates can make loans and mortgages more affordable, encouraging spending. For investors, uncertainty over tariffs and slower growth can impact market confidence for policymakers. Balancing inflation stability with economic growth remains a priority. So, okay, so there's some notes. I posted that in the community if you want to go back and read over that. So what else? Man, we got 50 basis points out of early this morning, 3:30 a.m. out of the Swiss National Bank. Its forecast was for 25 basis points that came through, right? Cut rates. I haven't had a chance to really get caught up on that in regards to the forward guidance cut rates. Now at 8:15, we've got the rate statement and the policy rate decision coming out of the ECB, right? The ECB. And later today at 8:30, we got core PPI coming through, which is very important. U.S. unemployment claims, and then we've got the press conference at 8:45. So we'll get to hear Christine Lagarde speak. So ECB trading economics front page, right? ECB is expected to cut the key deposit rate by 25 basis points. So we'll see what happens with that, right? So we know December was going to be a month for central banks to make some very important decisions. So far, right? I know Australia held, but for the most part, the central banks are continuing to cut rates. Any questions on any of the fundamentals? No. All right, so over in the general community, right, which is where we posted those notes, uh, some results of some of our trading, right? Joy posted some this morning. Also, Joy has posted some really good articles that I need to get caught up on. Adobe forecast, right? Fiscal 2025 revenue below estimates, right? So appreciate you doing that. And so shout out to Joy and everybody else that's posted in the community, right? We dropped some sevens. We'll start off with that this morning. So I appreciate you all doing that. Moving over to the DXY, right? If we look at the daily, right, price has been moving up. Right. Yesterday we finished bullish. Right. Today we've got a correction on that bullish candle from yesterday, but you can see right it's already starting to recover a bit. You can see that long wick off that support level. And so we can see our stochastic is still in the buy zone on the dollar. Here's the 4 hour. We were talking about this range right the last time, and we'll see if we'll continue to push through the top of that range on the dollar. Right. So if we go over to trading economics, look at Forex. Move down to the DXY, get an update. The dollar index held around 106.5 on Thursday after rising for four straight sessions, even as the latest U.S. consumer inflation data cemented bets on a Federal Reserve interest rate cut. The CPI report showed that both headline and core inflation rates matched expectations in November, paving the way for the Fed to proceed with rate reductions. Markets are now assigning nearly a 100% chance that the Fed will deliver another 25 basis point reduction next week. Investors also look ahead to producer inflation data on Thursday for further guidance. Meanwhile, the dollar found support from recent weakness in the euro and yuan amid a dovish monetary policy outlook in the eurozone and China. However, the greenback lost some ground against the Aussie following strong Australian jobs data. All right, so that's that on the dollar index front. So we'll jump right into these charts and we'll start rolling through some of these setups that we've been tracking and following. So if we move over and we'll start with this Aussie Swissy, right? Which Joy I posted in the community said we got action, right? And so we were tracking this 80-20 on a 1 hour chart. And you can see, right, that we came in at TP1. So shout out to everybody who was able to take that trade. And you can see that we may continue to see a move to the upside to TP2, but target one has been hit on the Aussie Swiss. Any questions there? Nope. All right. Coming in, taking a look at the Aussie yen. Oops. Wrong pair. So we are on the Aussie yen, still trying to work towards that target one. Okay, so that one is still in process, but we have moved up out of the 80-20 zone, right? So we had some drawdown, bounced off that weekly support level. So that's up 136 pips now. Okay, on that move there. So that's already quite a way. That's already successful, right? A lot of people try to get 50 to 100 pips a week, right? You got that in one setup that hasn't even finished making its run, right? That's the power of what we do. It's still over 120 pips left on that move, right? So if you're in that, just continue to manage your trade. Any questions on the Aussie yen? So you said the shot it right after the post. He had perfect timing, right? On that one. Okay. This Aussie NZD, right? We were looking at this from the daily time frame, right? When we were saying, hey, if you play those daily swing highs and swing lows, and we could see where we got that bounce. So you can see where before, was it a Saturday, we had drew right our little boxes saying, hey, if we get a swing low, then it probably will continue to run. And we got that, right? We got the official swing low. Two candles to the right, two candles to the left, higher than your center candle low. And you can see second candle close and price is running, right? So after that second candle close, price moved up to the high point of that candle about 66 pips, right? Before it pulled back. If we go down to the 4-hour chart, coming off that low in the trend line break, we can see that we made an ABCD wave, right? That one actually pushed to the 1.618 after 86. All right, so if we go down to the 1 hour, we see that we have a new AB boundary. So the question becomes now, right? Can we pull back? Can we pull back and do we make another ABCD run to the upside? Okay, that Aussies look kind of bullish right now. All right. Any questions on the Aussie and ZD? No. All right. I want to take a look at this CAD Swissy. All right, so this is another one where we were looking at the swing low and the possibility, right? We were looking at these levels, key levels, and we said, hey, if we get that swing low, price may start to run, and it's doing exactly that, right? So here was our little fake candles that we had drew up in anticipation, and you can see that we started to move higher, right? So that was pushing bullish. Stochastic is in the buy zone, and you can see here in the 4 hour we were tracking it as a range type of play, right? Because price came back down into the range. You can see it held that level again, so it's moving up. Okay, so we can continue to see, right? Despite we know they cut rates, Swiss franc S&B came through with 50 basis points of cut. So we've broken that down trend line. So in the future, right, moving into next week, look for a new AB boundary and a new potential setup for it to continue long, right? So we'll see. We'll continue to watch that. So that's the CAD Swiss. Moving down to our CAD yen. Okay. Again, right? You're tracking the daily levels. Okay, you got to swing low that form there. Price is pushing up. We had that identified as a 80-20 on the 1 hour, right? We drew out a little range, just bouncing back and forth, and we finally broke through and got to TP1, right? So to congrats to anybody that was involved in that trade. Now that one was some work right on your patience, right? As it was ranging, and then we finally broke out. Okay, but hey, if it doesn't take out your stop, right? So just remember how we like to play that, right? Two ways. Okay? You either run a tight stop below the low at the 80-20 area, which you can see how sometimes that could be a disadvantage if price starts to get whipsawed and range bound. You can get stopped out, right? But the way I prefer to play it is to keep that stop loss wide on these kind of trend moves, because if it doesn't hit that D extension, that 1.618 D extension, you have the possibility of price still U-turning to retrace back to that 382. Right? So in this case, while this price bounced around in that range, the trade stayed active, right? You never would have got stopped, right? But if you try to attempt this with a tighter stop, right, it got stopped at multiple times, right? That could be frustrating. Okay. That's about 1,000 bricks in this case. So wider stop loss, right? Paid off. Got TP1, right? Gave the trade room to breathe. Any questions on this cat? We may continue to see that move up. We'll see. The TP2. No. All right. The switch in play on the was this a 4 hour? Okay. We got TP1. Okay. We got TP1. Okay. So mission accomplished there. All right. So out of that 80-20 zone, okay, it's 335 pips out of that 80-20 zone, right? We had some drawdown. Do we care about that? Nope. Didn't take out our stop. It's a swing trade. Okay. It's a swing trade, right? So we drew down a bit, but then look how that recovered for 335 pips, right? Mission accomplished on that one. Any questions on this switch yet? If you're thinking about, hey, could this possibly move, right? We know we just got a 50 basis point cut, which that's a surprise cut, right? They expected 25. We got we got 50, right? On that. So if you're thinking, hey, maybe um, can I get a push to TP2, right? At the 335 pips, right? Pull some money off the table. Pull some money off the table. Reduce that position. Don't be greedy, right? Adjust your stop and the profit. So if you take 75% off the table, you got 25% running, adjust that stop to where on that remaining 25%, you get stopped out at break even or you get stopped out in profit. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? No? Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. Always glad to be here with the group.
Yes,
What's
sir.
on your mind this morning?
Um, Most of what you covered, and then I don't know if you talked about China at all.
I did
Um,
not.
Information continues to be released regarding um more fiscal stimulus, rate cuts to lift growth. Um, they raised their budget deficit ratio for
Okay.
2025.
Mhm.
Um, so giving them more room to make some changes there. So things that we've been talking about um, continues to fall in line. So looking for some of those ETFs to move and
Okay.
potentially impacting the Aussie and the Zubin as well.
For sure. For sure. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that Ozzy seeing some good energy right now. It's,
Yeah,
you know, um, and some of the data that they had come out, and then like you say, with China being their largest partner. So I'm looking forward to 2025. Like you say, some of those the ETFs that are attached to China, and also some of those emerging market, you
yeah,
know, uh, ETFs as well, man. So forward to that. I appreciate you, man.
yeah, no doubt.
All right. Okay. Okay. So thinking ahead, right? Always trying to stay a few steps ahead. And that a lot of that comes from reading, right? Reading your reports, gaining an understanding of what could be happening in the future. Okay. It's not only just about what's going on right now, it's about trying to get that forecast of what may be lying ahead. Okay. So that's that. On the switch in. I want to take a look at the zero CAD. Just keeping an eye on this one on the 4 hour, because we've gotten a reaction out of this 80-20 zone. We have not quite gotten a 382. So there's a possibility for this position to move down. We'll see, right? We'll see. We've got data today coming out of the ECB, as far as the rate decision, they're expected to cut rates. So this one kind of, you know, uh, got me super interested this morning as I see this initial reaction. Right, it looks like it was moving pretty strong. Right, look at that huge bullish candle. But this caught my eye, right? After a nice bullish candle right up into that 80-20 zone, we started to move sideways. And it took back everything it gained on that bullish candle. So that's down 116 pips. So I'm interested to see this morning, right? If we get a further move to the downside with the rate cut, and then also, you know, the monetary policy statement and the press conference from the ECB this morning. So keep an eye on that one. The Euro USD scenario here. Right. So it's been very, very choppy. But hey, we still somehow managed to come in and hit that TP1 on the 80. Right. We still were able to hit that TP. Okay. So that's where we are. We should enjoy strong on the cat, weak on the Swissy. Yeah, because that Swissy was a surprise, right? Everyone expected 25. It came in at 50. So, you know, uh the euro is wild. It is. I mean, look at the price action on it, right? But it hit, right? It hit. So the 80-20 played out nice, right? What is that? 200 over 200 pips. So look at the wild push down, and then it recovered 200 pips. So that's the Euro USD. We'll hold out on that. We'll see uh, what happens as a result of the ECB rate decision this morning. This Euro GBP, just to take a quick look at it. Right. It's still right. We know that we were talking about it over the weekend, how the fib sequence played out on the daily, and after a long move, right, we finally got price to hit his take profit level. But we got a new AB boundary, and we were talking about how what is it going to do? Is it going to continue to push down, to the 80-20 zone on the daily? Right now, you can see we broke that level, that B boundary at 82.68 support. We broke it, and now we're pulling back a bit. But overall, on the 4 hour, this was the play with the trend is bearish. So we're getting a pull back now, but I expect that to stay to the downside and eventually get to this D extension. So this is the current 4 hour fib moving to the downside, right? That's a nice move, okay? It's a pretty when you zoom out on it, right? We see that that's a pretty clean move. We'll see if there's any surprises with the ECB in regards to the rhetoric. So we'll see, but that's where we are right now, moving bearish on the Euro GBP. Moving into these pound pairs, um, again with the CAD, you have here on the 1 hour, right? So overall, moving bullish, but we are in the 80-20 zone. And so similar, right? You just saw the Euro CAD or whatnot. Uh, you've got this pound CAD kind of in a similar situation where overall bullish, but we are in a corrective state right now. So already off of this high, okay, down 85 pips. So the question is, can we continue down to TP2? If you're saying, hey, I'm bullish pound CAD, then you need to come down into your sweet spot so you can have an opportunity to buy that, right? We want to buy at the lowest point possible. And we kind of project that based on our fib levels. Okay. So that's where we are at 80-20 in process there. Let's see if we can get it to play out. Again, if you're looking long, we want a low price. Okay. So we want to see that down. Any questions on the pound CAD? No? All right. Give me 1 second. All right, everybody. I'm back. So that's the pound CAD. Moving on to the pound Swissy, right? So for the most part, bullish, right, on these pounds right now. And so we can see from our daily perspective, right, that we're pushing, trying to push higher. Right, we rejected a bit right below that level, but this is where I'm mainly tracking this position on this 4-hour swing. Right? And so, very choppy, right? But at the end of the day, right, we're still trying to move higher, right? We just got the rate cuts from the S&B 50 basis points instead of the expected forecast was for 25. So we're still looking for the now this is a big swing, right? So off our 61.8 zone, right? Right now that's 150 pips, 6 pips. That total target, right, is like 386, close to 390. And so we still have a ways to go on that. So we're looking for pullbacks and continuations to get involved, right? See here on the 1 hour that we have a new AB boundary. So if we can get a pullback, right, and then a move higher, that would be ideal. Okay, we could get a pullback, then continue to move towards that 4-hour target. Any questions on the pound Swiss? No.
No, sir.
All right. Moving to the pound yen. Right. So again, on the daily, we got the swing low, right? Price has been pushing. We're at 98% right now. But overall bullish, right? Against these yens. Here's the 4-hour look coming out of the weekend. We're saying, hey, can price break this cloud? We got the break, right? Now we're up against this 200 moving average. So we're looking for pullbacks and continuations. Okay, so this is a long move, right? From where we are now. Okay, you still have 840 pips or so, right? So this is a long-term move. If you come here to the one, you got an 80-20 scenario trying to play out. Okay, so you missed that initial move, then we're just waiting for that pullback and that continuation long. If you're gonna short it, right, we're in the 80-20 zone. We did not get a 382, and we can see how this is moving down, right? So on this 1-hour chart, if I missed that initial move on the 4 and I want to buy, then maybe we can get a low price once price returns. Okay. But again, it's amazing how price stalls. Look at this huge bullish candle. Then we got it didn't continue to move up, right? We've got a correction going on. Okay. Joy says she is waiting to add. Good job, Joy. Right to that position. So let it pull back, right? And then add to it. Okay, that's your game plan. So that's the pound yen. This pound NZG, just a quick review, right? Okay. Flag pattern, right? Okay. Then we spot it. Joy said, hey, that's a flag, right? I'm right on that, right? That was you, right, Joy? I got that correct. I think so. Yep. All right. So that has since played out, right? So we got an A6 pullback, and you can see here how we just broke that channel back to the upside. Boom. Now we've got a new AB boundary. So we're waiting on that to correct to see if we can continue long on the pound NTD. All right. Moving on down to the NZD CAD. TP1 hit, right? Price action, right? And how that price action gets to that target, it could be as chaotic as it wants to be. I just needed to get there, right? So we got TP1 accomplished on that. We'll see if that wants to continue to move down now. I don't know. But honestly, I don't care, right? I got TP1 hit. That's all I was looking for out of that because it's just been I mean, if you take a look at the higher time frames, it's everywhere, right? Moving everywhere. So out of that, right? If you took that trade, you got that target hit. Not looking for anything more out of it. Okay. So that's the pound CAD, the dollar Swissy. All right. See, we put in that swing low, right? This is one that we've been tracking. Okay. So here, bang, moving higher, and we got a cloud break. Okay. Back above the 200, back above the 50. So now we're in this push zone. Okay. So we want to see this continue to move, right? We'll be conservative with it here. And all right, looking forward to moving right between that 118 and that 127 zone for a take profit. It was close, right? It might be a pip or two shy. Okay, so we're moving to that 127. Okay. So there we go with the cloud break. Like I said, above the 50 moving average, above the 200. Got a bullish cloud up ahead. So we want to see that continue to move long, right? Fundamentally, that's in our favor. Right? Okay. So if that break of the cloud is your buy point there, then that's just breaking that cloud. Okay, so see if we can get that to continue uh to uh to that take profit level at the 127. Okay. Any questions on that?
No,
No?
sir.
All right, so let's see if we can get that to uh continue to move in our direction on this dollar Swiss. Okay. So continuing to move on. Take a look at this dollar yen. Okay. Look at this dollar yen. We were saying, hey, can we get this price to break out? And it did. Right. So we can see right now it's just consolidating again, but we did get the breakout. So I'm gonna look for that to continue to move long. Right. Maybe we get a pullback. Not the best price action right now, but overall, just wanted to show, hey, we got the breakout. Let's see if we can get it to continue. Okay. That's that. Moving up to the commodities. Okay. Oil, 30-minute oil play. Right. Shout out to Reese, 30-minute. TP1, TP2, and TP3 took out the high on that, right? So right now that's continuing to move a bit bullish, right? So just wanted to review that one real quick on this oil play, right? So we dropped some sevens in the chat on that one. Right? Shorter term move, hit targets. Okay, if we move back out to the daily, kind of get an idea of what's going on. This is gonna be a mess. I'm gonna have to redraw this one because we've been working on those lower time setup. Right. So we are clearly moving bullish right now on this. So we can see that we are breaking higher right now. Swing low, moving higher from the daily. So we'll see if that moves up to retest the highs, right? Stochastic is in the buy zone there. All right, so that's oil. TP's hit on that 30-minute play. Right, here we are on gold, right, continuing to push higher again, right, and just stalling out. Okay, so a really good bullish year for gold, just kind of moving sideways right now. We'll see if it wants to continue higher, which it probably okay, on gold. So that's where we are with a bullish move there. This silver continue to creep up, right? Slowing down a bit, right? We're trapped in between these two levels, right? But overall, long term, this daily swing is continuing to push higher on silver. So we'll see if that can find its way back to keeping up the momentum. Nat gas is sitting above the cloud, right? So a lot of us are projecting that to continue to move long. And so far, so good on that with nat gas. Okay. Any questions on natural gas? It's looking pretty good right now. No.
Hey Joey, what do you mean? What period? What are you talking about when you're talking about waiting on rate cuts? Gold?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, for December with the Fed. Good point. You know,
but
it's kind of
I, I was hearing that they was moving it from December to January after January 20th.
what the cuts.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna get it. They may pause. They may be a little bit more. So the market's pricing in 100% possibility of 25 basis. I think we're gonna get it. I think where the question comes is but how the rhetoric changes with the forward guidance being that we got the administration.
right.
So I think maybe 25 basis points in December, and then it may be a possibility that they hold rates, you know, until they get a better until they get a better idea
Because
of,
I didn't
of
realize it was lame duck right now. I
it is.
forgot.
It
I forgot
is.
it was lame duck, and so I was. Tim Scoopit comes on before we start. He be going while we start. So while he was talking, you know, they got all this stuff, and basically everybody waiting to see what he's going to roll out, what his administration is going to do. So it's like they're hesitant on December because it might be too soon. But then he goes and tweets in the middle of the night that he want to meet with the Chinese president, and then next thing you know, gold shot up because everybody flooding the safe haven.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we gonna
Oh, and then
we
the
gonna
interest in the
see.
yields rates. That's what it was. The interest in the yields rates.
And the bond yields.
Yep.
Yeah, they went back up to like 4.5, right? Like four and a half because of the but that's a lot of that too is because of the possibility that they can hold rates moving forward after this cut in December, right? So because that'll lend to a stronger dollar. But we'll see. You know, there's a lot of rhetoric out there. You know that there's a difference between what you want to do and what you can actually accomplish, right? You know, once you sit down in that seat, because no, they're not. People aren't just gonna lay down, right? If they disagree with you, they'll take you to court. They'll sue you, right? Like you can't. Like I was watching one thing this weekend, and he was talking. He was like, "Oh, you know, as soon as I come in, I'm gonna get rid of birthright citizenship. You can't just get rid of it. Like you can't, like you can't just wave your magic wand and get rid of it. Like you can't do that, right? There's a whole process for that, which you can't do, right? So so there's a lot of there's the rhetoric, and then there's the reality, you know, what could actually happen. So that's why everybody is proceeding with caution, right? Now with executive order with an executive order on that with like something like birthright citizenship, like you know, some things yes, you know, but you know, people are gonna file suit and everything else. So it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. So we'll see. Uh, the GDX here. So here's a cleaner move, Joy, right? And what you're talking about too, right? On that GDX, right? Which is the gold ETF. That's look at that right here on the daily. Like how that's starting to come up, right? So that's a bit cleaner there. We're starting to break out of that small range. Okay. So that's where we are on some of the commodities. We'll go in and we'll take a look at indices. There we go. Done that. We're gonna see. All right. So here we are, the S&P. Right, continue to move a bit sideways. Right, so you can see, look, here we're trending, and now we're starting to kind of, taper off a bit. Right, start to taper off. So we'll see what happens as we're, like you said, we're starting to move towards a Fed rate decision. We took out this high. We're kind of testing that area right now. We go down to the 4, take a look at some things. On this S&P. All right, run our fibs. See where we are for the 4. All right, so kind of just ranging. So we'll see. We'll see. It's kind of at a pause right now, so not much going on, man. Here's that US 30 making a correction of this 4 hour, man. We got close to that D extension. Didn't quite get there. So we'll see if this creates the higher low. Okay, right here in this zone off the 4. Okay, let's see if it wants to make a U-turn. So, and so we'll continue to watch that. Okay. Not sure if it'll come back and retest that 43,391 level, but we'll wait and see. All right, so that's where we are on the US 30. The NASDAQ, right? NAS 100. Boom, hit it on the daily. Okay. At 21,600 level that we have been focusing on for a long time, we got there. Right. So teamwork makes the dream work, everybody. Hit that target.
That's
We got
evening starter too. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This thing is gonna keep moving up. Wow.
Yeah. You talking about right here in this morning star?
Mm.
Yeah, it could. We'll see. See what happens. But that was a nice run. That was a really nice run. So when we hit those daily extensions, I kind of just put everything on pause, right? Right. That's a higher time frame extension that got hit. So let's see what happens. That's where we are. So let's give it some time to rest, right? Which is what I'm doing with a lot of the setups. Just let them just moving towards the end of the year, just letting everything kind of settle down. Here we are, right? And then the Kai, right? 225. Look at it, right? Ranging, but we're still gradually moving up. Okay, on the 4 hour. So that one's still looking bullish. So we're looking for pullbacks and continuations on that. Okay. Long running trade, right? But still moving in that direction, still moving in that ABCD wave. Here we are in the UK 100, right? The question is, can we get a lower price on this one, right? Not doing anything with this one yet. Can we get a lower price? We get a lower price. Be patient, right? if you missed out on a lot of these setups, no worries, right? It'll come back. Another setup will occur, right? We're just around the corner from 2025. Okay, here's the Russell 2000, right? We talked about this one for the whole second half of the year. Finally got the extensions hit. We got a new AB boundary. This is the daily, so you can see the market is kind of just resetting itself, pulling back, right? So we're just going to be patient with these, right? Because when they run, right? GR30, look at that extension they got here. 19,966. That was a target, right? We're following for a while, right? We circled the low. Look how much has moved. So don't be, these are higher. That's a daily extension that got hit. So don't be so quick to jump in long, right? These prices are sitting kind of high. Yeah. Tyrone. Yep. Yep. That one made a nice run, right? Shout out to Tyrone. Okay, so this is where we are. Here's the SMH, right? Semiconductor ETF still just ranging, okay, hinging on it on Nvidia and that whole thing that's going on. Moving into uh we'll look at some of our tech stocks as we look to close out the morning, right? That's right. Drops of 7 in the chat. For sure, right? Apple, come on, get everybody. We're not playing any games. Apple, ABCD wave, the daily, right? Look, see how we're closing out the year? Right, so you gotta be careful, right? Extensions are hit, right? That's our edge. We know that. Okay, it could be an exhaustion point for the market. We want to make sure, right, that we're not suffering from FOMO and like, oh, that's running out, that trade is running. Let me get involved because you can get caught on the correction, right? So that ABCD wave, Apple hit the D extension at 244. Microsoft, one that I'm still sitting in, right? Long, look at that climb, 493. Okay, still moving, long. Okay, on Microsoft, Nvidia, right? A lot of mess going on right now with it, right? With that China situation. Okay. But I was reading, what is it, right here. Nvidia steps up hiring in China to focus on AI-driven cars. There's no end to this, right? So whatever they're gonna work through. Still bullish. Still bullish on that, right? 163 on the 4 hour, right? Some people call it 170 on that. I can see that. But the question is, do we get a pullback first? I would love for it to pull back. I need I need that to pull back, right? On that Nvidia play, see if we can get a lower price, right? Here's Salesforce. Wasn't too long ago we were talking about past resistance becoming future support, moving higher. Okay, so we'll eventually get that extension on Salesforce, right? Set the trades up, let them run, right? This is that Adobe play, right? Moving sideways. Joy posted an article on the earnings, right? In the community, right? Ryan is sitting long in this, right? Big time play for Ryan. Drop Ryan some sevens in the chat, right? Ryan is doing really well with Adobe right now. That's one that we called a long time ago, right? Just been sitting in it, letting it run. Okay. AMD, Advanced Micro is kind of just bouncing around, still within this AB boundary, right? I think long term that's going to be a good play. Long, we'll continue to watch that one. Palantir, right? Hit that $75 target, right? Hit the extension, right? And now we're kind of, right? Is that going to be the low on the 4 hour? That's one to watch out for. Is this a new low here to get long on Palantir 4 hour chart? Don't know. Have to look more into that one. This is moving up, right? We took a look at this one. It's been moving up. Okay. So continue to watch this one. Okay. That's an emerging markets ETF. Okay, it's got a good bounce out of the buy zone. And so let's see if that continues to move higher. Got 4 minutes here. Let's look at let's look at some consumer stocks. Amazon, oh boy, 'tis the season, right? That's gonna hit that extension at 244.93. Right? That's running. That's a beautiful past resistance becoming future support off of 196.65. Look at that bounce. 244.93 is the target. Call it 240. Right? Look at Tesla. Straight moonshot, everybody. Mild correction. 314 got to bounce off monthly support. That's gonna hit 467.80. Question is, do you get a pullback before then? Wasn't too long. Tesla was down 100 some dollars a share. The market will give us opportunities, right? Home Depot kind of just bouncing back and forth at this level. It's pulling back now, right? So that one's been a shaky one, trying to find its footing. And then here we are on Walmart. We got a new AB boundary. That $86 was hit. It blew straight through it. So that $100 target is in reach. Hopefully we can get a pullback and catch that Walmart $200. Okay. Any questions over anything that we covered today? Got a lot going on, a lot of opportunity. Brian, anything before we close out, sir? You're welcome, Troy. No. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, right, to see what happened with the ECB and the rate decision and all that other good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your day. And always remember, don't just count your pips, but indeed count your blessings. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye, Benny. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.